Hi, friends, and welcome. I hope you enjoyed The Little Red Riding Hood. Today we'll be reading Jack and the Beanstalk. There was once a poor widow who lived with her son, Jack. They made a meager living selling milk. That is, until their cow went dry. Jack's mother asked him to take the cow and sell him for a good price. On his way to the market, Jack met a man who asked him where he was taking the cow. "I'm going to sell her," he said. "You look like a sharp young man," said the stranger. "I will give you these 4 magic beans for your cow." Magic beans? Jack was delighted with the offer. He swiftly made the trade and hurried home. "Look what I got in exchange for the cow," he said eagerly. "You foolish boy," cried Jack's mother, tossing the beans out the window. "Now we must go to bed hungry." When Jack awoke the next morning, he noticed an odd shadow on his window. He ran outside to find that a huge beanstalk had sprung up during the night. It was so tall that the top disappeared in the clouds. Jack was a very curious boy and decided to climb the beanstalk. He climbed up it to the very top. Jack could not believe his eyes. In front of him stood an enormous, magnificent castle. Since his arms and legs felt so tired and sore, Jack knew that the long climb up the beanstalk had not been a dream. He rubbed his eyes to make sure he was not seeing things, but the castle still stood before him. Curious as ever, Jack decided to walk to the castle. As he strolled, he met a beautiful fairy who told Jack the tale of the giant who lived there and how greedy he was. She also told him how long ago the terrible giant had stolen all of Jack's father's gold. The fairy told Jack that the gold was his birthright and he should take it back. Jack reached the steps of the castle and made his way to the kitchen, where he saw the giant asleep at a table. The giant had been counting gold coins when he nodded off. Jack climbed onto the table and grabbed a bag of gold. But as he climbed down, the giant awoke. The giant sniffed the air and roared, "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman." Frightened, Jack gripped the bag tightly and raced out of the castle as fast as his little feet would carry him. The giant gave chase, but Jack was fast. He lost the giant just as he threw the bag down to his mother's garden. Jack's mother was overcome with joy. She knew that she and Jack would never go hungry again. Wanting to take back all that the giant had stolen from his family, Jack climbed the beanstalk once again. This time he ran into the giant's wife. She was weary of helping Jack, but the little boy was so polite she could not resist. Jack hid in the oven when the giant came looking for his supper. "Fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman," roared the giant. "Don't be silly, love," said the giant's wife. "It is only your supper." The giant ate his meal and then he told his wife to bring him his hen. Jack peeked out of the oven as he heard the giant shout, "Lay!" On command, the hen laid a golden egg. Jack waited patiently until the giant fell asleep. Then he leaped from the oven, snatched the hen, and raced out of the castle. He hurried back down the beanstalk to his mother's house to show her what he had gotten this time. After quite some time had passed, Jack decided to climb the beanstalk once more. Jack sneaked back into the castle, and this time he hid in a large pot. The giant wandered into the kitchen and was about to peek into Jack's pot when his wife called him to supper, saving Jack again. After eating, the giant called for his magic harp. The harp began to play the most enchanting music Jack had ever heard. Before long, the giant was lulled to sleep by the music. When Jack heard the giant begin to snore, he knew it was safe to climb out of the pot. He grabbed the harp and started to run away. "Master, master!" cried the harp. The giant awoke with a start. Jack held tightly onto the harp as he ran for his life. Jack could hear the thump, thump of the giant footsteps behind him. He knew the giant took large steps, so Jack ran faster than he ever had before. Luckily, the giant had just eaten supper and was a bit sluggish. By now, Jack was an expert at climbing up and down the beanstalk. Even with the harp, he slid skillfully around stems and leaves. As Jack climbed down, he called to his mother. "Mother, hurry, bring me an axe," he shouted. When Jack reached the ground, the giant was only halfway down the beanstalk. Jack took the axe and began to hack away, chopping at the beanstalk as fast as he could. As the giant got closer, finally, Jack swung the axe mightily one last time and cut the beanstalk in two. The beanstalk and giant crashed to the ground. Jack had successfully retrieved all his father's treasure and saved everyone from the terrible giant in the clouds. Jack's mother was very proud of him, and the two of them, the hen and the harp, lived happily ever after. Well, thank you for reading with me today. That's all we have time for. I'll see you in the next video.